everyone. All right, we are back for another live stream. If you're watching this, thank you joining us live. Thank you very much. Hey, look, we got some new gear.
Yep, Marvel.
Our first Marvel t-shirts, right? So in case you're ever watching us for the first time and you think we do Star Wars, yes, we do talk about Star Wars, but we also talk about Marvel. All right. So we last week we were talking about Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. So we had 2 episodes that we've already prepared. We're breaking down 16 episodes, right? So the first episode was from 1 to 6. Then we did another episode covering episodes 7 to 11 of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Now we are going to cover the last 5 episodes. All right.
12 to 16.
12 to 16. We cannot wait to talk about it. So thank you very much for joining us. I am Kerwin. This is Keith. We are Father Son Galaxy. All right. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you like this video, hit the like button. You know what to do. It's very easy. We are on the race. We are on to the race to 1,000 subscribers. All right. We're getting close. All right. We could do it by the end of June. End of June. We could probably do it sooner than that, but end of June. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Hey. How you doing?
I'm okay.
Okay. All right. Let's get into this.
Yeah,
So
you take the first.
all right. So we're going to start with episode 12. Once again, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. This is our spoiler review. Let's talk about episode 12, which is called Today I Am Woman, written by Maggie Rose.
Woman.
I Am Woman.
Hey.
Okay. So all right.
You mistake.
I missed the title. Okay. I Am a Woman. That, I guess. All right. I Am a Woman, written by Maggie Rose. We'll explain what that means.
That doesn't sound right.
Directed by Christine Liu. Okay, it's going to be a long night. All right, so Casey gets prepared for a Bat Mitzvah. All right, how about that, right? So we know that her parents are 2 dads, right? Antonio and Isaac. They are voiced by 2 veteran personalities and actors. Actor Wilson Cruz is her father, Antonio, who is from Puerto Rican heritage. And Isaac, her other dad, is voiced by Andy Cohen. So he's a television host, and he's of Jewish faith. All right. So they are a married couple. She is getting ready for her Bat Mitzvah. Casey wants the ceremony to be, of course, covered by the media because she is just that type of person. She is an influencer and she wants everyone there. She wants big coverage, and she also wants Moon Girl to make an appearance. But Lunella really doesn't want to come to the Bat Mitzvah as Moon Girl. She just wants to be Lunella. Well, all right. So we'll get back to that. All right. Odessa. All right.
Oy.
All right. Odessa she seems to be the villain in this episode. She starts off as being, another influencer. She's taking pictures and she's talking about how happy she is to be at this ceremony and she loves it. Here. Yeah, right, exactly. But then it turns out she has a background of thievery. It comes from her dad. So her dad was a famous New York City thief. So what she does, she steals superheroes' gear and sells them for cash. That's what she does. She steals their equipment, whatever it is, sells it for cash. Put a pin in that. All right. And then what she does is she takes some of this technology that she's stolen from these superheroes and use it against them, which is interesting. All right. Yeah. So a couple of highlights from the episode. There's a song, a Jewish folk song that was written back in 1918 called Ava Nagia, which is traditionally sung at celebrations. The title translates to "Let's Rejoice." Okay. And then, so Odessa, long story short, Odessa, of course, reveals her true identity. She tries to steal some of, actually, she does steal some of Lunella's equipment, Moon Girl equipment, but Moon Girl gets it back and puts Odessa in prison. Or she locks her up in a closet, I believe, right? Some type of a coat room. She locks her up in a coat room. And, and she stays in the coat room, long after the ceremony is over. So, Casey, Casey and Lunella are in a classroom. They said, well, what happened to Odessa? She's still in that coat room. And, Lunella said, well, I made a few phone calls. So the next scene, you see Lunella in the coat room, and all of a sudden the doors open, and then you hear the Avengers theme.
Yeah, Sam Wilson appeared.
Do the Avengers theme. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. All right.
Well, what kind of March of the Resistance rendition?
No, it's not March of the Resistance. So yes, Sam Wilson. Yeah, he didn't have a speaking part, but you saw his shadow, and then you saw him walk in with the shield on his back, and all of a sudden the wings just flip open. That was pretty cool. Which means
this is for the MCU canon, as he's in the Captain America suit.
That's right, and we know that there's going to be a new Captain America movie coming out next year, right?
Yeah.
New World Order. So it's canon, yeah. Yeah, so, Moon Girl is in the same timeline. That was a very cool episode. So I was excited to see that. I just couldn't stop laughing that's how it ended. So it was pretty cool. And I love to hear the
Because I went ahead and I watched episode 12, without you.
Oh, yeah, that's
like, Dad, Sam Wilson's episode 12. You were like, what?
I couldn't believe it. And I just love when they play the Avengers theme. So that was wonderful.
Who doesn't love the Avengers theme?
Yeah, absolutely. When you hear it, you know what it is. You know who's coming. All right, so that's it. A couple of things. The rabbi is voiced by Pamela Adlon. She's actually a very, you may not know her. I know she does a lot more adult-oriented shows, but she's a
like what?
She's done comedy. I remember her from a Louis C.K. He had not a variety show, but he had a show that was named after him. I think it was on HBO. She played his wife, I believe. So she's done quite a few things. So she's an Emmy award-winning actor, producer, and writer. So she played the rabbi in the episode. So that was pretty good. All right. So that was episode 12. Today, I am a woman is what you think it said. Yes. I don't think I mistyped, but you think I
think you did. Why would I say today I am woman?
Well,
that don't make sense.
Okay. All right.
That's like me saying Legos. That's like saying I Legos instead of I own Legos.
Okay. All right. We'll move on. So now, episode 13.
Devil Shoulder. As Dad typed
it. Okay. All right. What's the name?
Devil on her shoulder.
Devil on her shoulder. You want to talk about that one?
Yeah, so it's written by Taylor Vaughn Lashley and directed by Christine Liu. First of all, who's Rockin' Rudy? This guy is the only villain they face who does not have superpowers, and he manages to get away every time.
Right, yeah.
How does this dude with a car evade a girl with a jetpack and a huge 10,000-foot tall dinosaur?
Yeah, I mean,
like 100-foot tall dinosaur.
Hey, yeah, he just loves to talk to this Rudy guy like he's
like he's spewing. Rudy.
Yeah, right. He's singing as he talks, and he's driving away in his fast car like some kind of Cadillac or something. I don't know, but he just comes in and out.
We could say he jumped in a Cadillac.
Okay,
put some miles on it.
Yeah, he does, and I don't think they've caught him, up to this point. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Lunella and Casey wanted to go to the huge movie premiere. What was it? Torg.
Yes, Torg versus Droom. Yes, there's a Godzilla type film.
Yeah, it was like
monsters.
It was like a parody of Godzilla versus King Kong.
Correct. Yeah.
So they all wanted to go to the premiere, but Devil was way too big for it. So Lunella came up with a super secret shrinking potion that she gave to Devil, and he became human size. So they painted him green and they dressed him up like a cosplayer.
Yeah.
And that was funny because Devil had the time of his life. He got to be small again. He got to enjoy himself. He got to be normal. Yeah. I mean, it did wear off later, but he was happy. And they did a lot of other things. Rode the subway, played basketball, went to a deli, and he wants to do more. So he gulps more of Lunella's potion and shrinks himself further and goes to kid parties like a ballroom. So to put that in perspective, he is about as small as a grape at his smallest.
That's true, right? Yeah.
Before he, goes subatomic.
That's true, right?
So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, you have to think of, you know, Dinosaur, you know, because he's so huge, there's not much he can do. He doesn't spend a lot
Not
of
many
time.
human things.
Well, right. He can't, you know, hang out
He hardly
with.
really leaves the cave.
Yeah, right. He can't hang out with Lunella and go everywhere that she goes. We know that Devil loves movies, right? So when they're at home together, that's what they do. They sit back and they watch a movie at home. He's got this big tub of popcorn. So one day, you know, she's aware that there's this big movie coming out. This, you know, Dream versus. Yes, I know. I'm just, you know, paraphrasing. You know, this monster movie that's coming out, and she wants to take Devil, and she can't, so she decided that she's going to shrink him down, you know, so that he can attend the movies, and then he can go and do other things that kids do, you know, like you said, you know, like go bowling and, you know, play on the playground. But he does take it too far, and he ends up, you know, taking too much.
He goes subatomic, so
right.
Lunella had to call in the big guns and call in Lawrence Fishburne's second character, aka Bill Foster from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, how about that? So another MCU connection.
Yeah.
He
tells again, this aligns with the canon.
Yes, it does. Yeah, absolutely. Now, look, I'll tell you, I'm not a big fan of Ant-Man. I mean, I've seen the movies, but I don't. Really, I'm telling you the truth, and it's not that I don't. Okay. It's not that I don't like. It's not like I don't like the movie. I just, you know, I saw it, but I don't remember it too much. So I wanted to ask you a question.
We need to marathon rewatching.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't mind doing that. Yeah, but can you remind me who Bill Foster is in the film?
Yeah, he's the one who was you know, trying to cure ghosts from you know, what was her name? Ava Lang or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Not sure.
Some obscure name.
Okay.
Her last name.
Yeah.
I forgot what her last name was. I think her first name was Ava or something. Either way, she had this weird phasing thing where she would like phase through walls. And she was the main villain, and Bill Foster was trying to cure her. I remember that scene where like Hank just like pretends he's having a heart attack or something, and then hopes like his medication is in that Altoid box, but the thing that's in the Altoid box is the shrink disc, and he summons a bunch of ants or whatever.
Aha, yeah, okay, I know that ant connection. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what does that have to do with bringing him back to this episode? So Lunella contacts him, for what? What does she need from Bill Foster?
So that she can help save Devil from, you know, completely shrinking down into something smaller than atoms as the serum was multiplying inside of him. And therefore, he would begin to shrink down into something that's not even met.
Yeah.
Devil would be floating in space.
Right, almost to oblivion, right? You wouldn't even see him anymore. Yeah, he got that small. Okay, so Bill was able to come up with some type of potion, I guess, right?
No, he gave Lunella the recipe, and then Lunella had to tell Casey how to do it through a rap.
Ah, okay, I got you. Right. So we're talking about the song. It's called "Go Big." They had this. We're still talking about episode 13, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't mention the song.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
Well, let's talk about the song.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about the song. All right. So first of all, Torg. All right. Let's talk about Torg. So Torg is this. He is an actor, right? He is one of the villains in this movie. So we're talking about the movie being,
Torg was a real monster,
right? Like it's a monster movie, right? So apparently he was chosen to be in this movie to play the bad guy, the bad monster, right? But
he wasn't happy with how he was portrayed,
right? Because he's not a bad monster, so he gets this reputation.
So he became a bad monster,
right? So exactly, that's what he did, right? So he was trying to let people know that the monster that he portrays on the screen is not really that monster. He is not a monster. He's a nice person. So I guess he was just trying to relay that information to people, and people were in fear of him. They didn't believe him. So that was also the other part of the story. All right. And then Torg is voiced by Clifford Smith. If anybody knows who Clifford Smith is, he is a long-term member of the classic, the legendary Wu-Tang Clan, all right, from back in the day, from the 1980s. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wu-Tang. Okay, so I was talking about the song, all right, called "Go Big." It's this feel-good song. It had that '60s vibe to it, and you saw the pastel colors. I thought it was pretty good. What I like about the music, the music, of course, is always trying to tell a story, right?
Yes.
It's a part of telling the story that the writers are trying to tell everybody else. So that's part of storytelling, is the music, all right? What does the music say, and does it say the same thing that the writers want to say? So they always match up the music to whatever's happening in the story. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
All right, okay. Episode 14.
Yeah, all right. So let's go on to episode 14. All right. This is called Coney Island, baby. All right.
And the first line is, we on to Coney Island, baby.
All right. You want me to do this one, or you want to?
Yeah, you do it.
Okay. So this is Coney Island, Baby, written by Liz Hara, directed by Trey Bongiorno. All right. This is this is my childhood, because like I said before, I grew up in Brooklyn. So I have been to Coney Island many times. But what I did not know, and I learned from this episode, that there's a street, a corner, Stillwell Avenue. If you've been to Coney Island, let me know if you have. You can put something in the chat or send us comments later.
Yeah, put one in chat if you've been in Coney Island.
Yep. Okay. On the corner of Stillwell and Mermaid Avenues, there's a street named after this inventor. His name is Granville T. Woods. Who is Granville T. Woods? Well, he is an American inventor, right, who held more than 50 patents in the United States. When Coney Island had a grand reopening back in the day, one of his greatest inventions was the electric roller coaster. All right. Isn't that awesome? So he's
the man who engineered my fears.
That's it, right?
No, I'm just kidding. I love roller coasters.
Right, exactly. It's my fear. I'm not a big fan of roller coasters.
You are?
I'm not. I've done a few, and it's just not.
You should ride a roller coaster.
Yeah, well, I know you're going to say that to me, but I can tell you I don't need to ride a roller coaster. Yes, and by the way, I mentioned that he is an American, but he's also an African American. All right, so this is history that I did not know. I should have known, but yes, he is an African American inventor.
I should have done my research.
Yeah, and look again, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur is not just about fun, excitement. You're actually learning something from these episodes. Like every single episode is something that you're taking away from it. And again, I had no idea who Granville T. Woods. So the story takes place on Granville T. Woods' day, right, to celebrate him. And then Lunella does have a fear. It's not roller coasters. Actually, it's a part of it, because at Coney Island, she got lost when she was a very young girl at Coney Island. And I can imagine getting lost at Coney Island. It's huge. There's a lot of people there. It's very easy to get lost. So she got lost as she was looking around for her family, and she ended up in this house of horrors. And
she was in a little shop of horrors.
Yeah, and she ran into this clown, and she was just scared straight of these clowns. She didn't want nothing to do with it.
And then Mimi came and drop kicked the clown.
Right, and so she had this fear about going to Coney Island. She didn't want to ride the ride. She didn't want to go to the fun house. But as it turns out, the Beyonder, if you know the Beyonder, he appears, to cause trouble. So he is there to expose Lunella's fear. And he knows that Lunella does not like clowns and being scared in that fun house. So what he does is he kidnaps the Beyonder, actually kidnaps Mimi, her grandmother. So Lunella is here at Coney Island with her girlfriend Casey and her grandmother Mimi. Mimi all of a sudden disappears, right? And we know that the Beyonder is behind it. Oh, okay, all right. So Lunella is looking for them, and she gets the impression that Mimi is probably in this fun house, the one that she's afraid of going into, but she wants to save her grandmother because her grandmother could be in trouble. So eventually she does get in, and she is approached by a clown, and then Mimi actually saves her. But Lunella ends up overcoming her fear, right? So the moral of the story is about overcoming your fear. So grandmother and granddaughter are reunited. Lunella runs into the Beyonder, and Beyonder drops this nugget, golden nugget. So he says
it's bigger than your head.
Yes, he says something to Mimi, which was very interesting. So
it's bigger than my head.
Yeah, so he says, your granddaughter faced her biggest fear today, but you're about to face yours. They're coming for you, Mimi. Ooh, they're coming for you, Mimi. And that's how
that nugget just grew to twice the size of my head, Dad.
Yeah. And it's like when I heard that, I was like, what's going on? That's the end of episode 14. So that was Coney Island Baby. All right.
Yeah.
So let's move on. We've got 2 more episodes.
All right. So, who's the original Moon Girl, you ask?
Good question.
It's Mimi!
Okay. You want to introduce the episode?
Yeah. So we're on episode 15.
Yeah.
OMG issue 1.
Yes.
And by the way, OMG doesn't just stand for oh my gosh. It also stands for Original Moon Girl.
How about that?
Did you ever make that connection?
I did not.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
OMG. There you go.
So it's written by Taylor Vaughn Lasley and Liz Hara and directed by Trey Bongiorno.
Yes.
So like I said, Original Moon Girl turns out to be Mimi's grandma, Mimi, who is Lunella's grandmother. Yeah. And all of a sudden, S.H.I.E.L.D. shows up, and so does Maria Hill.
There's that MCU connection again.
So once again, we're back in the MCU.
Yes, we are.
You know what I just realized, though?
What's that?
Portals. This whole thing about interdimensional travel in Moon Girl, this makes me think that if she's not already in the MCU, she's going to get transported to the MCU. Like, wouldn't that be nice? Like, sometime in season 2, we just see, like, at the end, we just see this shot of Moon Girl coming into live action, and she steps out, and all of a sudden, everything is, like, live action again. And she's in the live action LES.
Oh, wow. I think that
Which is normal to her, because she's seeing everything the same. She's always seen it.
Yeah.
But, like, it'd be different for us. Just seeing the transition from the animated world we were used to live action. That's how we port Moon Girl to the MCU.
I love that idea. That sounds like an awesome...
And then they could do what they did for Star Wars and, like, do whatever amazing CGI they did for Zeb and do that for Devil.
Ah, wow.
Only thing is, we got to figure out who to cast.
Good point. I love that idea. I think that would be an awesome season 2. I mean, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay, let's finish up talking about 15. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the Enclave are looking for Mimi. So she and Maris Morlack, who is voiced by Wesley Snipes, aka the original Blade.
The Wesley Snipes, yes.
Yes. The legendary Wesley Snipes. Co-created an invention that revolutionized space travels. So they can go to the moon and back in the blink of an eye. And other scientists try to take credit for their invention. Yeah. Which doesn't go well, as they get sucked into a space portal and, dragged halfway across the universe to who knows where. And Morlack picks up the ring. He is now the leader of the Enclave, kind of like a Crimson Dawn thing. And here we are. So Mimi destroyed the original portal for fear of Morlack growing too powerful. So Lunella built another one based on Mimi's specs, which Morlack finds, and he destroys the lab with Devil inside.
Yeah, how about that? All right,
yeah. So Mimi and Lunella get captured in a truck to an unknown destination, and Mimi helps Lunella escape, but she does not escape in time. And Mimi says, I love you to the moon and back. Lunella, bye. And, throws Lunella out the doors.
Yes, and, out of the truck, right.
And then she runs back to her home, and she finds the smoking crater where Devil once stood.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
So, wait a minute. Hold on. All right, so if you saw the first episode, so you remember Moon Girl had a picture of the scientist. We had no idea who this scientist was. We didn't have her name, but Lunella would refer to her as the original Moon Girl because she was the inspiration for Lunella creating this portal, right? So it turns out, like you said, that the original Moon Girl is actually related to her, right? Her grandmother.
Isn't that funny? A lot of lineage.
Yeah, right.
I wonder what Lunella's mom has to hide. Maybe she was like a co-conspirator.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Which is very interesting because, you know, Mimi, as far as I know, I don't think her own daughter knows about her past, right?
Funny how she skipped a generation there.
Right. Yeah. Her husband does know, I think. Pops does know, yeah. So so the backstory is that, yes.
I mean, the only reason she told Moon Girl is because Moon Girl had recreated the portal and, you know, was in mortal danger of Morlock. And without, you know, she had to explain it to her. Otherwise, this entire thing wasn't really going to make sense.
Absolutely.
I don't think she really ever planned to tell Moon Girl.
No
Just,
way.
you know, circumstances put them in positions that they wouldn't normally be in. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I'm Moon Girl. So
right, she wouldn't want to, you know, give out her identity, and that's something that superheroes always have to deal with because, you know, that's why they keep their identity secret. Because, right, that's why they keep their identity secret because they, you know, want to protect their loved ones. Because if they were to find out, you know, someone were to find out who they were actually, they can go after their family, you know, and put them in danger. So yeah, she definitely wanted to keep that a secret. So Mimi. And the scientist Morlock, or you said voiced by Wesley Snipes, they created this portal a long time ago, right?
Like 40, 50 years ago.
And then another scientist wanted to take credit for it. So, you know, there was this big argument, and this scientist, the one that had the ring originally, who was the owner of the ring, actually got sucked into the portal, and we have no idea where he went. But he left the ring behind, and Morlock picks up the ring, and he now wears that ring.
I love how casually he's like, let me put this on. All right.
Yeah, right.
Wait.
So, again, you know, I know we've been through a few episodes. Let us know if you've seen any of these episodes, if you have any comments about
questions,
them.
Theories, and anything in between down below.
Exactly. Let's talk about it. Yeah, right. So that is episode 15. All right. Anything else we want to talk about 15?
No.
All right. We mentioned Maria Hill. Right.
Yeah.
Again, you know, another MCU connection there.
By the way, Maria Hill gave Casey her phone number, but Casey abused her texting privileges.
Yeah.
And
right.
Instant block.
She was blocked. Right. And of course, Maria Hill is voiced by Kobe Smulders.
As always.
From the films. All right. Wonderful to see her. All right. Or to hear her voice. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the last episode. This is a season finale. Episode 16 called OMG, issue number 2. All right, this is part 2. Written by Taylor Vaughn Lastly and Liz Hara, directed by Christine Liu. All right. We did say at the end of 15, Morlock did find where Lunella lives.
Yeah, and blew it up.
Torched, her lab.
I'm amazed how her parents and Pops didn't realize that there was a literal underground lab that is smoldering underneath their home.
That's a good point. Were they home? I guess they were. I don't remember seeing.
Where were they?
Yeah, that's a good question.
When their house shook, or when their house was shook.
Yeah.
Imagine if an explosion is right under your feet, you would have been like, "What in the world?"
Yeah. There's no way.
And then you find out that your child had a lab where she was holding a dinosaur that was blown to smithereens and all of her lab inventions.
Yeah. I had no idea how you would not know that your place is on fire, but apparently they were not home, so maybe they had no idea.
Yeah, where were they? Were they at the grocery store?
Well, you know, they're grown people. They're allowed to leave.
Were they at the convenience store? Because that sure was plot convenient.
It was convenient that they were not there. Right. They needed to not be there. The writers
once again they were at the convenience store.
Right. They conveniently went to the convenience store. There you go. All right. So we pick up where.
Or imagine coming back and seeing that there's a smoldering crater behind your home.
Yeah, that's not a.
How was their home not engulfed in flames?
Well, that's a good question. It seems to me.
Where are the logistics here?
Where's the pumpkin pie? Okay.
Dad,
yes.
Side note here.
Mhm.
Imagine you invite yourself and 2 other friends to somebody's home when they weren't even planning on having Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
And then you have the nerve to complain about what they serve when they weren't intending on having guests in the first place.
We're going way off topic. This has nothing to do with Moon Girl.
Pepper and Patty really
I know,
overstepped
we're
some
talking about-
boundaries.
Hey,
Look
we're
at-
talking
look at
about
that. Alex.
Thanksgiving. Okay.
They weren't
Alex.
home. They were buying butter cookies.
Ah, there you go, Alex. See, there you go. See,
Yeah,
I
they
would have
brought
done the
them
same.
for they brought them for the PC brand.
Yeah.
Plot convenience.
I would have done the same thing. I'd be out buying butter cookies. All right, cool.
I'll be out buying Haagen-Dazs cookie dough ice cream.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you? Okay.
Yeah. Or Ben and Jerry's. They're both good.
All right. Can we move on to 16? Let's start.
Can
with
we get
16.
some ice cream after this? That
So
depends.
16 ends. 15. 16 begins where 15 ends. So we find out. We thought Devil was in the lab.
And
He's fine.
He's
walks out.
alive.
Yeah,
I tricked you.
Yeah, so it's like Casey and Devil got out just in time.
So apparently this 4'9" human pushed this 20, 30 foot tall dinosaur. He's probably like 100 feet tall, like 100 foot tall dinosaur out of a lab, or the entrance
we don't know how it
probably.
Yeah.
Once
I hear
again,
what you're saying.
Casey went to go shop at the plot convenience store before she came back for Devil. So
Yeah, we don't really know how he got out. He's just out. It doesn't matter. It's animation.
But honestly, I'm kind of glad.
Yeah.
I like the way it just wasn't explained at all.
Yeah.
It's just like, listen, we get Devil back. I can't complain.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't get rid of Devil.
Remember how cute he was in episode? What was it? Episode 13?
Yeah, well, he's like a little teddy
he was
bear.
tiny.
Yeah. It was adorable. Look, I'm telling you, they probably sell these Devil Dinosaurs out in the stores.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm
they
sure
turned that into a plushie.
That's coming. Yeah.
Devil's gonna be the Grogu of the MCU.
I will buy one. Anyway.
You will buy 2.
I will buy 2. All right. Okay. All right. So now, Lunella.
Wait, 3.
Okay.
4.
Lunella and Casey.
3.
All right. So they now have to find Mimi. They don't know where she is. They got to find her. So they trace the location of the truck, and they show up at this.
And Moon Girl gets a stealth suit.
Yes. Right. Okay.
Were you retracing your memory there?
Well, I was trying to remember that part, right? Because all right. So they find that she's located on this castle on an island somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. And it's all, it's heavily guarded. These armored soldiers attack them. There's this wonderful flashback of Mimi and her husband James Sr. as they were courting each other, right? Pops. They got married. How they raise a family. I'm still trying to remember if Pops even knows about this. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if he does, because there was nothing in the flashback that said to me that, they had this conversation that she used to be Moon Girl, or, or she created this portal. Yeah, we'll have to go back and look at that. All right. So what Mimi is doing is she's creating a new portal, but, it doesn't work the way she wanted to, and it brought out these creatures from another dimension. Don't know where they came from. And
Morlock becomes one with the dimensional portal.
He overcharges the portal.
Sucked into space.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So he didn't know what he was doing. So apparently Mimi is the one with the brains. So he had no idea what he was doing with this portal, and so he got taken in. And now, so you got this portal that's going right. And Lunella and Mimi are trying to shut this portal down.
And for some reason, the only way to shut it off is from the other side.
Right.
Which makes absolutely no sense. Because if you think about it, how'd they shut it off before?
I don't know.
And more importantly, how'd they turn it on? Like, I get maybe they could get a pass because, it was overcharged.
Yeah.
There was more power than they knew what to do with the machine. I mean, but like, how did you turn it on if there were 2 people on both sides?
I agree. Now, and
why'd you have to send someone back to shut the portals? Not like there's controls on the other side.
Right.
You could be sent to some prehistoric land. How are you supposed to shut the portal from there?
Exactly. So if you're on the other side of this portal,
how does the portal know somebody went through it?
Yeah.
That's like me knowing if somebody stole my Legos, which I always do, if I had my back turned to them, was blind, and had 10 billion Legos. Like, how is the portal supposed to detect that somebody's on the other side to then begin initiating the closing sequence?
Good point. Yeah, I know. That sounds like a plot.
Where's the pumpkin pie?
All right. Well, hey, look, and the problem is, of course, if you have somebody else on the other side of the portal, how are they going to get back? If it's shut down. Mm-hmm. So, well, and that's exactly what happens. So
that's a problem. It's like that soul stone. It's like a soul for a soul. Right. You gotta go through, and you're gonna be trapped.
How about
and that? You're gonna like it.
Alex, wireless control, perhaps? I don't know. Maybe could be.
Wait.
Yes.
So in theory, that means that this just went dark. They're gonna need to bring a sacrifice with them to get Moon Girl back. Because they need somebody to be on the other side of the portal to shut it down. So they're going to have to get somebody to open the portal and then go through to shut the portal on the other side. And they're never going to come out.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. So apparently, the only way to shut the portal down is to turn off on opposite sides of the portal. So Lunella
then why didn't
makes the decision.
Why didn't Mimi tell Morlock to shut the portal down? And more importantly, didn't Moon Girl go into the same world that Morlock was just pulled into by those creatures?
Possibly. Yeah, but we don't know where that is.
My head is spinning.
Okay. Now, remember, Lunella is the star of her show, right? So, of course, they need to have the lead character take on
the lead character
the responsibility.
Needs to survive.
Yeah, we'll take on the responsibility of doing something very dangerous, right? It has to be high stakes. So,
yeah, of course.
Morlock could not be the person to do that, right? Because he's just he's a supporting character. So it's Lunella. Hang there, Keith. So it's Lunella that had to be the one. I
didn't have coffee this morning.
That's okay. Lunella had to be the one to go to the other side of the portal and shut it down simultaneously. I guess that's how it's supposed to work. So that's what happens. Lunella's on the other side.
How are they supposed to synchronize time?
I don't know, Keith.
Do they have? Is this James Bond 15? Do they have synchronized watches? How are they supposed to know the exact moment to shut the portal down when they're each on different sides? And the only way connecting them is an interdimensional travel portal, in which case, by the time they send somebody through, like if Casey were to go through and tell Moon Girl, pull it now, either Casey would get trapped or Casey would not be able to get back in time to relay the message to Mimi because seconds would have passed and then the portal would not have lined up because they would have been slow. Correct. And she can't really yell through the portal like, close it now, because I'm pretty sure sound gets blocked and muffled through the portal.
Well, this is very interesting, right? Because this is where we are. This is the cliffhanger.
I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Well, this is a cliffhanger, right? We don't know how Lunella is going to get back, right? And right.
And that's the kicker.
Right.
This is what we're waiting for in season 2.
Exactly.
See how Moon Girl returns.
And we don't know where she is. There was a post.
She could be in the MCU.
Right. I know you had a very good idea. I like that idea. But, they had a quick post-credit scene where she wakes up from wherever she is.
She just opens her eyes and delivers one line.
Yeah.
Where am I?
And we don't know. But see, we're talking about it. We're passionate about it because we want to know what happened to Lunella. So
I just have to
wait for season 2. So
Dad, I need to know.
Understood. All right. So look, that's all 16 episodes of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. So let's wrap up and talk about.
That's a wrap.
Yes. Tell me, as a whole, this season, what do you think of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur?
I'm gonna give this a solid 10 out of 10. I like the representation. I like how realistic it is. Episode 11 takes the cake as my fave episode because it tackles real world issues in a kid friendly but still serious way. Like the way the Musclers literally removed the voices of the community, but they refused to stay silent. So powerful. So powerful. That's an image you guys need to see. Like, heck, this got to be turned into a documentary.
No,
this is a Netflix series.
I got you. Yeah. It's. I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think that is the standout episode of the season. Chapter 11. It was wonderful. Written by Halima Lucas. Who we've had on the show. It was incredible. This was this season of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, like, I don't, not that I know a lot about Moon Girl. I mean, I know, we talked about, how we went to the library, we picked up some
Going
books.
into the show, I didn't know that much either.
Right, yes, so just going back and look at the old Marvel comics, and actually there's a new run that's currently going on of Moon Girl, and I'm trying to catch up. I'm a little bit behind on that. But outside of...
we have Marvel Unlimited, so we'll have to check that out.
Well, true, right. So outside of that, what we know from the comics, and somebody really doesn't know it's Marvel Unlimited. I didn't know what to expect from this season, and this season went above and beyond my expectations.
This season, my expectations were here, all the way at the ceiling, and this show delivered to the sky.
Very nice.
You see that hole in the ceiling? That's where the show went down.
And do you remember when we reviewed the trailer? I don't know if we reviewed it or we just discussed the trailer. And we reacted to the trailer, right? We talked about Lawrence Fishburne playing the Beyonder, right? And they said, wow, the Beyonder, because the Beyonder.
I'm like, that's a big name.
It is a big name.
They really plucked that man from the sky.
Yeah. And, again, Beyonder comes from the comic books, right? He is a part of Secret Wars, Marvel Secret Wars.
I thought maybe this would have like some MCU implications, but the Beyonder kind of looked like a joke.
Right. So when I heard the name Beyonder, I'm thinking, okay, is this going to tie into the MCU somehow? And actually, it does. I mean, we saw quite a few guest stars, guest appearances from the MCU, and like you said, that storyline that you came up with is amazing. Her waking up in live action. I'm here to write for season 2. Who knows? MCU live action. I think that would be wonderful to bring Moon Girl and bring them together with Captain Marvel. We talked about there was an issue with Moon Girl and Captain Marvel. So who knows? Who knows? But this was a wonderful season. I love just to agree with what Keith already said. Happen. Like, okay, let me just talk and let me say, it's like, I'm agreeing with you about what you said about it's wonderful just to know that the hero is someone who looks like us. She is intelligent. She reminds me of you, like I've said before. We don't see that many those kind of heroes on the big screen or small screen very often. So I'm really glad that we have Moon Girl, and shout out to the creators behind the scenes, the writers and the executive producers. The music, Raphael Sadiq, is amazing. It all just ties together very well. It paints a wonderful and vivid picture of New York City. I grew up in Brooklyn, so I know some of these locations. Spent time at the Lower East Side, did some shopping there when I was a teenager with my mom. So I'm aware of where these streets are and the culture, and the series was able to really portray that extremely well. Absolutely, yeah. So we enjoyed this season of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Now, before you forget, you wanted to say something?
Okay. Never mind.
Okay, all right. So this is a good time if you have any, if you're on the live stream, if you have any final questions or comments about this season. If you have not seen it, check it out. Alex, I agree. It's so important to see heroes who can see ourselves in. Yes, I'm very happy for you both. Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you so much. Wonderful. And Alex, you're probably a busy
both of you got
busy
very
person.
Intrigued. I definitely want to watch this.
Yes, right. Yeah, exactly. That was my point. I was about to say, I know you're probably very busy, but check it out. At least a couple of episodes. It was really wonderful. You don't have to be a child to enjoy it because it's a cartoon. It's a cartoon, so it's for kids. No, it's not. It's actually for family. People of all ages can watch this season, these episodes. You get something out of it. And you don't have to be an MCU fan, right? You don't have to be a comic book fan. It's just a fan of a story about family and relationships and learning, learning something new. Again, I've been, taught a few things that I did not know. And so I thank Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur for that. All right. So we want to wrap it up. Do we have if no further comments? All right. Keith, where can people find us?
You know where to find us if you like to listen to us, wherever you get your podcast. Socials, the usuals, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fathers of the Galaxy. Website, fathersofthegalaxy.com. merch store, fathersoungalaxy.myspreadshop.com. Email us at ker@fathersoungalaxy.com. And check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/fathersoungalaxy.
Yeah, Patreon is back.
As always, please join us on our race to 1,000 YouTube subscribers.
1,000.
We are so close to that.
Yes.
We can do it with your help.
Yeah, absolutely. We're almost at 900 subscribers. So
yeah, every subscriber means a lot to us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Think about that. We've come so far after 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to know that our numbers are picking up. So we're reaching people. So thank you once again.
I'm glad to see people are actually seeing our content now.
Absolutely,
we're reaching people.
That is true, right? And whether you're watching or you're listening to us, doesn't matter. You can leave a comment anywhere. Listen, we love.
Dad personally cuts time out of his schedule to respond to every comment.
Just about to say that. Yeah, I absolutely love that. I can.
So if you comment, we will respond.
Yeah, if you comment on YouTube, we would definitely respond. Okay. I enjoy reading your comments and replying. So all right, so let's talk about what's happening tomorrow, because we're going to be back tomorrow with another live stream.
Tomorrow is Return of the Jedi.
That's right. We're going to
40th anniversary.
40th anniversary special of Return of the Jedi. We're going to talk about this movie. This movie is very special to me, as Keith already knows, and maybe some of you already know.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to talk about it.
What's it, your second favorite Star Wars movie?
It is, yes, right behind The Empire Strikes Back. For a very long time, Return of the Jedi was my favorite Star Wars movie. For a very long time, not up until since The Force Awakens. So not that long ago, because, when that came out and I was thinking, I miss seeing the original trilogy. So I went back and I watched them, and then I just got stuck on The Empire Strikes Back, and I just kept watching it and watching it and watching it. I said, this movie is amazing.
Dad likes when heroes lose.
I do.
This coming from Darth Vader.
I do. Vader he was masterful.
It's funny though.
Yeah, what's that?
Dad has the blue lightsaber though. I have the red one.
Okay, all right. Well,
isn't that funny?
It's all right. We can change up. I can be red. You can be blue. Or we can have a balance.
Or you can be yellow.
Right. Oh, right, exactly.
Purple,
right,
green, or pink, or black, or white.
Okay.
All right. Rainbow color.
Tomorrow we'll be back to talk about Return of the Jedi. It's a very special film for me, of course. So if you're a fan of Return of the Jedi, join us tomorrow on the live stream. If you know any fans of Return of the Jedi, or just Star Wars fans, just want to talk Star Wars, we're going to talk about the impact that this film has had for the last 40 years. They left a big legacy that's felt even until today, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay. All right. Return of the Jedi.
I think that's it for tonight.
Okay. All right. And then next week, remember, May the 4th is next week. We got Star Wars Visions coming.
Yeah. You know what, Dad?
Yes.
Why don't we do a special Star Wars Lego build for May 4th?
I know we got a lot to do on May 4th already, right? Because I was about to say, Star Wars Visions is coming out, right?
Hear me out.
Okay.
We can buy the Lego set this weekend.
Yeah.
And we can assemble it and shoot the video after we see Return of the Jedi re-release.
Interesting. Yeah.
And then we can release it on May 4th.
We'll see. You'll see. I know you would find any excuse just to get me to buy you a set of Legos. I understand that.
We're gonna get you practice.
Yeah, of course. Right. I do need practice. All right. Yes. But we got a lot going on. All right.
If you've seen our latest video, the time lapse. You're familiar with it.
You don't have to bring that up. I'm not as fast as you. Okay, I'm not.
It's a good thing because it means you're learning.
Yeah, it means I need to buy more Legos so I can practice more.
It does.
It's putting a hole in my wallet.
Dad, practicing means draining your bank account. Come on now, come on.
Not in my book. I didn't learn that in Finance 101. All right, so
I have your wallet in one hand and a Lego set in the other. Let's go, Dad.